Hello friends, in today's video we will learn the SwiftUI layout, VStack and LazyVstack. In this video we will see the behavior of the both stack, also their arguments, also how they impact on the memory. So let's start with the VStack. In the VStack stand for the vertical stack. How to initialize the VStack? So here we see the example of the VStack. The VStack contains the subview from top to bottom. So let's add some contents on the VStack. Text 1, text 2, text 3. Here you can see it's load from top to bottom. Also let's see the arguments of the VStacks. So VStack has a two property, alignment and spacing. So let's see one by one. First we see the spacing property, how it's work. Spacing property parameter is CG float, so you can pass the value. See here you notice the when we apply the spacing, it's apply the space between all the contents. We increase the spacing property. So here you can see here it's increase the space. See, and also one more thing I have to add. In the VStack we can add up to 10 subview in the VStack. How? Let's see the example. Let's here decrease the 3. We add the multiples like more. We try to add the more than 10 contents and see what happens. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, now we try to add one more, 11. Did you notice? Here is show the error, extra arguments call. So we cannot add the more than 10 subview in the VStack. But what if we want to add the more than 10 subview? So we can add the child VStack on there. So in the particular one stack we can add same property. We add the spacing property. So in this child VStack we also can contain the again 10. So this kind of we can add the, if you want to add the more than 10 subview in the VStack. So let's see the another property of the VStack. The other property in the VStack is alignment property. Let's create the alignment property. In the alignment property there is a 3 property value: the center, leading and trailing. The center property, when you are not set the alignment properties, by default take the center property. Also you can set the leading and trailing. So let's see what's the difference between leading, trailing and center. Okay, so first we go with the trailing property. Here we add the spacing 20, also the content. Let's remove this part. By default let's center. Okay, let's add some subview in the VStack with the trailing property. Okay, here we add one divider, also we add one image, so you can see we use the default image from the SFW here applications. The SF symbol, they provide the different kind of the images, trailing image. Okay, let's take this image. Okay, the padding, also set the background color on the back, add some background so you can see easily consider the different. So foreground color, also set some padding. Okay, so here you can notice when we set the property trailing, it force the content from right hand side. What happen if we set the leading property? Do you notice it's forced to content from left side? And what happen we set the center? So that's the difference between alignment property. Let's check one by one. Okay, leading, trailing, and center. Here we set the leading, center. Okay, here you can see the difference between the alignment, how it's work. So that's about the VStack. Now let's see what's the LazyVstack. Okay, LazyVstack, it's similar to the VStack. We can use also the lazy. So you can see there is no different. You can also use the lazy against the VStack. But then what is the difference between lazy and VStack, normal VStack? So in the LazyVstack, subview loads only when the render on the screen. Also the LazyVstack useful when we have to load the large contents of the data into the scroll view. So let's just see how it's work. LazyVstack and VStack. Now we remove everything. Okay, and we just use the VStack. Now let's render the data in the scroll view. to set the id self. Number of view. Here you can see we load the 1 to 100 view in the VStack. Let's set some padding on each view. So here let's set the default padding between each view. Okay, now we can do the same thing with the LazyVstack. Let's add some text so we can identify which view is right now. Okay, so here you can notice that we use the same example with the VStack and LazyVstack also. But what if we have to load 1000 data render on the scroll view, and how that's impact on the memory? So let's see with the VStack. If we have to load the 1000 data in the scroll view, how the impact on memory when we use the VStack? So just change the VStack. Okay, okay, here we load the 1000 text in the VStack. So here you can see the memory, how much memory it's used. It's 122 MB when we render the 1000 view in the VStack. But what happened if we use the LazyVstack instead of the VStack, and see how much memory it's used on the LazyVstack. So let's use with the LazyVstack. Here we use the LazyVstack instead of the VStack and run the same example with the LazyVstack. Now we see the memory impact. Did you notice? When we use the VStack, it's used around 122 MB, but when we use the LazyVstack, it's used only 62 MB. It's almost double in the VStack. But how it's happen? Because in the LazyVstack, view load on the memory when it's rendered on the screen. That's the main difference between LazyVstack and VStack. So let's see the real-time example, how we can notice that the view render on the screen. So let's take one variable render view. Okay, let's take integer value 0. on appear method, we set the render view equal to number view. That means the number view value 1 2 3 4, the number values assigned to render view, and here we display the render view. Okay, load view on screen, render view. Okay, that's easy to understand. That's current load view. Okay, so we can see sorry let's run. Okay, did you notice here the last view is view 5? When you render the screen, it's change. Here it's show the render view last, which is show on the screen. So that's the main difference between LazyVstack and VStack. But what happened in the VStack? Let's see in the VStack. Why this happened? Because in the VStacks, the all load render on the memory when the is first time initialized. Here one more thing I want to add between the VStack and LazyVstack. LazyVstack has a flexible width. How? Let's see. Add one VStack and just add the some padding and we set the background so you can see. On the LazyVstack we do the same thing as VStack. We use a different color. Okay, so here you notice in the LazyVstack has a flexible width, but in the VStack its width according to its contents. So there are the difference between the VStack and LazyVstack. So in this video we learn how to its impact on the memory, how to that's a different behavior and all these things. So if you want to learn more, here is my Medium article. The same article we cover the all the contents, SwiftUI layout view, VStack and LazyVstack. I add the link in the description so you can easily get the link. If you like the video, please like, subscribe and also comment if you need to learn any controls, any behavior, anything about the SwiftUI. So I'll try to make video on that. Thank you so much for coming far from here.